is I, the Titan who is obscured from fandom forums. I am here to do a writing episode of the Genie Lore. Welcome to the Titan of Obscured, yet another writing episode from Megatronic Legacy. This time, we cover lore stuff rather than just characterization alone. I made half a dozen episodes discussing the characters' roles, Shantae being one of them, but we get to see more than the half-genie hero's journey into hell and quest to rescuing her family from the Lin Kuei, hell, and inflation. We'll be looking at bits of the lore and how it could come into play for Megatronic Legacy. The sources all mentioned in this video will come from Mythology and Fiction Explained in his discussion exploring Middle Eastern folklore. Also check out his channel. He's got really neat lore videos. Anyways, let's not stand around. Time to enter this cave of wonders. The Jinn in Islamic lore were described as smokeless fire. It can inhabit the earth. Unlike the angels, they had free will, which meant they can choose to rebel against Allah or follow him. The Jinn were stronger, faster, and smarter than the humans, though they still need to eat, sleep, and do what we do. One thing to consider is that the Jinn live underground, as a means of plotting or other malevolent intentions. Another is that they can take on several forms. They can fly, turn into wolves or snakes, and can walk like humans. While Disney's Aladdin is the most notable example as to where the Genie and the Three Wishes plot come from, the original tale which inspired the film was a bit of a far cry from it. However, it does go into the Genie part, a ring genie and the lamp genie. A man who claims to be Aladdin's uncle tells him and his mother that he wants to help and would give them riches. But as you expected, when Aladdin gets the lamp, things went horribly sideways and is left alone. Aladdin summons the ring genie and makes his way out after wishing so. However, another to note is that the lamp genie has been used by the bad man's intentions, and warned Aladdin about it. One thing to take from is that the ring genie and the lamp genies are different in terms of capabilities. Lamp genies can foresee what one's internal intent is. Another, they can commit to even greater acts of good or evil, unlike their ring counterparts, which can only do these things at a smaller extent. While I was drawing the myth of Mara Ghidorah, an idea sprung, akin to what Mortal Brothers 2019 had in its final months of the development. Alakram was created by both Primus and Unicron. He wasn't a convoy, but still had angelic powers beyond that of our control, who was pragmatic, not as overly vengeful nor as largely merciful. There was a polarizing shift of power in between the two primordial forces, and so he left to pursue in creating his own world, the Genie realm. Similar to the Islamic religion, the genies in this continuity are free-willed and can choose as they go. They also end up either in heaven or hell, Subterranean or Unicronic heavens, and Yalharics in this context, based on their actions. Every genie in their world is responsible for his or her actions. Should anyone try to attack them, they will retaliate and take them prisoner. While most worlds in Megatronic Legacy were regimes like Misilika's army, Nasty Norks, or even the heavens to a lesser extent, where they're mostly socialist lenient, if not totalitarian. The Genie realm is a private realm, where genies have their own independence and not shackled to the realm's government. As things were settling in, Alakram passed down his life force onto a coin, which gets called the emblem of said king, which would then go to Kraton and then later to Zappel. But the item itself was originally Alakram's until more genies took over and have their own two-party system to elect their king of the genie or Queen of the Genie, similar to our system in the US. Unlike that, however, the Genies parties are more moderate and can compromise on several key factors to keep their realm afloat, and are willing to strengthen their armies to prevent Yalharics' forces from unleashing Megatron's convoy. Speaking of, the Genie realm is a platform which ends up colliding with Hell, making it as the purgatory of the series, minus the agonizing pain and suffering souls have to go through to get to heaven. As past Genie kings and queens forewarned that if Megatron's convoy were to be freed from Yalharics, calamity would befall upon creation itself. 3 locations of the Genie realm go as follows. Sunlight Ring, the outer plane of the Genie realm, consists of bright light shining and grants its user base the element of fire. Celestial Rim, The mid-ring of the Genie realm is the darkest of the three places and grants eyes for its users. Starlight Gate, center of the Genie realm and its main space bridge, is an all-around realm in terms of light, though it's portrayed as nighttime, and grants electricity for its user base. These originated from the idea of the homeworlds of Spyro 2 Season of Flame. As the 1950s were approaching, so too were the Djinn. Prior to the decade, however, there are some notes I wanted to keep into account when writing this episode. Sky's origin, and the hunt for Starscream. I'll go into the conflict between the Shi'ai Ryu and the Lin Kuei in another video. Moving on. A genie guardian named Harmony travels across Earth for any clues on the Decepticons' whereabouts. The real reason is that Megatron and his troops managed to escape Hell and make their way to Earth, and the genies realize that there were attempts done by demonic forces to escape. Harmony comes across an infant orphan which she adopted and named Sky, who was born in 1911, taking her in. Sky resides in the Genie realm from 1911 to 1951. So, how will she maintain her adolescent 20s appearance? Well, 1. The Genie realm's essence keeps beings young forever, but not entirely immortal. They would still die by murder, accident, or illness. Better yet, 2. It has its own source of energon called Gold Energon. Its main function is that it keeps its beings at the same age for all time as long as its source remains in their blood, which could be forever. The maximum age a genie could reach as far as appearances go could be in their mid-30s, though that could vary. Fast forward to the Korean War. Harmony and her half-genie group, along with Sky, are on a mission to locate remaining Decepticon troops who are not sent back to Yalhelrix, Starscream being one of them. It's been known that Starscream has been hiding within the American military and is preparing a retaliation with a small group of Decepticons who managed to escape. There will be a couple of others being part of this segment, but just to keep it short, Harmony and her crew search for Starscream to prevent a revival of Decepticon Socialist Revolutionary Militia, DSRM for short. One soldier in this storyline named Zingo Oshiba had a quarrel with Starscream and is going through turmoil. That is until he met the half-genies, primarily having a relationship with Zapple, and all work to connect the dots Starscream left for them to solve. Aside from the Decepticons and a few other enemy factions, Basilica is a big enemy for the Genie realm to deal with. Basilica has a globalist militia which is determined to colonize uncharted planets and pillars. Her family lineage consists of dragons and Prometheans who make their own regime. But ever since Basilica rose to power, she rigged elections on Mystica to keep her position in power. After all, she's a representative democracy.
I am all for representative democracy, just as long as I am the representative and everyone does everything that I say.
Anyways, Basilica hears the news of Megatron being dismantled before World War II ended, and is determined to escalate the damage of war. She tasks Etna and Mekai to use an undeveloped Zyg-like embryo, and find absolute nuclear power to make a powerful weapon strong enough to bring a quick but effective destructive end. Despite their best efforts, Etna and Mekai lost a Godzilla egg and the half-genies drove them out of Earth. There was one entry that was added recently called A Genie's Trust. To describe it simply, Shantae and Kuriko find themselves lost in the Genie realm at its depowered state, and Kreton, which is now Zapple's emblem, is missing. A group of the same half-genies alongside Zingo Oshiba meet them and were finding out what was going on. It's also discovered that Starscream escaped his prison and seeks retaliation against his opponents. Zingo and his half-genie allies go on an adventure to recover Zapple's emblem and restore the Genie realm to earn Shantae and her mother's trust. Once they recover the emblem, the Genie realm is restored to full power and gold energon is being produced once again. Fast forward to the 1990s. Marikadora was a creation by Alakram as his realm's champion, but was left incomplete after he passed on his life force to the realm's emblem. The Genies were the ones to finish what he started and prepared him for any future challenge that comes in their way. I'll go into the kaiju aspect in another video, but we'll keep our focus on the Genies for now. Shantae aside, who is a half-genie in most continuities, there are several others showing up, both official and OC related. As mentioned in the Korean War segment, Harmony, Plink, Zapple, Vera, Diatra, Julius, Guaka, Satyrex, and Kraton would make their appearance. The majority of them are female, however, there are some male genies that will have a part in this. The 4 half-genies' roles will remain relatively the same, but can be developed further. Zapple and Zingo can start off as a friendly mutual relationship that gets them closer later on. That necklace Zingo wears can be a wedding symbol when Zapple after Starscream gets defeated. Plink and Vera can have a close friendship where they look after each other, such as getting each other out of situations like being chased by Decepticon Dreadwing. Harmony will be the only member of the group to be a full genie, a strict, responsible, and intelligent leader. Considering that the genie population would be more conservative compared to other species across the universe, Harmony can be a good symbol to that standard. Any genies lacking these attributes should hold them or herself accountable, and should not point fingers at anyone to blame, unless if said individuals did them wrong and hold them accountable. Holochrome, the Cybertronian Djinn created by Primus and Unicron. Intelligent, creative, and powerful, he utilizes his powers for creation. Despite this, his creator's clashes caused him to fall out from them. He created the Genie realm and brought about the most prosperous genesis of any intergalactic species in the universe. While he was creating things within the Genie realm and Mara Ghidorah, he passed on his remaining life force onto an emblem in which he keeps the world from collapsing. It also plunges into the grip tip of Vector Convoy's sword, which is impaled into Yalhelrix. Ever since then, the Genies have worked to contain their place and defend it against outside forces that threatened it. So, the Genie lore is making its way into Megatronic Legacy, and while it's had its fair share of previous appearances, this one makes another approach to this. Shantae, Kuika, and several others will be returning, but definitely less waifu bait. More character for sure. Since we're trending into the Genie lore, we'll be going over the Shiai Ryu and Lin Kuei conflict. Considering I have spoken about Scorpion being Shantae's father in this continuity, I'll be going into that next. Thanks for watching, feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Over and out.